American Pharaoh, let my people go. May 2nd, 2015. American Pharaoh wins the Kentucky Derby with rider Victor Espinosa.
American Pharaoh has won the Kentucky Derby. American Pharaoh was, of course, the favorite at about 3-1. Ridden by jockey Victor Espinosa, has more than 3,000 wins.
In 1776, during the American Revolution, settlers soon began pouring into the region now known as Kentucky. It was legislatively created that same year. Kentucky means the land of tomorrow. The date 1776 and the meaning of the name Kentucky suggests that its use in this event is a reference to the Illuminati's New World Order, which is ruled by the Antichrist. As a side note, the next race for this horse, who is in the hunt for the Triple Crown, would be in Baltimore, Maryland, the same place protests have led to a curfew, a precursor to martial law being put in place.
But why is that?
Because they asked you to, sir. Please comply.
This is it.
Will you please?
Are we under martial law?
Are we under martial law? Are we under martial law?
More on this later, but for now, let's continue with the theme of the American Pharaoh. Remember Obama's trip to Egypt when he discovered the image of a pharaoh engraved on the wall?
President Obama did more than give that speech in Cairo today. Along with some of his top staffers, he took in the sights of ancient Egypt, including the pyramids. The president visited the tomb of an Egyptian priest where a stone carving suddenly caught his eye because something looked familiar.
And actually,
That looks like me. Look at those ears.
President's tour guide went on to beg to differ. He said he's always thought the president looked more like King Tut of ancient Egypt.
American Pharaoh is an obvious reference to Obama, but not only that, this is more evidence which proves America is the Egypt spoken about in Deuteronomy 28, and the so-called black Americans whose ancestors were brought to this new Egypt on ships and sold as slaves are none other than the children of Israel who are under the curse of Deuteronomy 28. Specifically, verse 68 declares, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you." The ancient Hebrews, our ancestors, suffered in bondage for 400 years in Egypt, and in like manner we have been brought into Egypt again by ships, and we have also suffered in bondage in America for 400 years. Yah sent Moses to tell Pharaoh, "Let my people go." And as it was in Moses' time, there will be an exodus of God's people from this land. May 2nd, 2015, the Floyd Mayweather-Manny Pacquiao fight occurs.
Speaking of big money sports stories, we are now just hours away from the richest and most hyped boxing match ever, happening tonight in Vegas.
They are calling it the fight of the century, and Hollywood heavyweights will be ringside when pop star Justin Bieber leads Floyd Mayweather into the ring to do battle with Manny Pacquiao.
May 2nd is the day after the anniversary of the founding of the Illuminati in 1776 and the American Revolution. The name Mayweather is a reference to the sunny weather found in the month of May. CNN posted pictures of some of the celebrities that were in attendance at the fight. Jay-Z and Beyonce were pictured at the fight as a reference to the Illuminati and the pyramid, which Jay-Z uses as his symbol. Beyonce wore a red dress, a reference to revolution. Since the 18th century, many Roman Catholics have observed May and May Day with various May devotions to the Virgin Mary, who is also known as the Queen of Heaven or Isis. Mary J. Blige was pictured at the fight. This was a reference to the Virgin Mary. wearing red also. P. Diddy was seen at the fight, and he is used as a reference to Revolution since he owns Revolt TV.
Special announcement, the revolution will be televised. The revolution will be televised. Revolt TV. The revolution will be televised. Let's go!
Mike Tyson was shown enjoying the fight. He is a reference to the one-eyed sun god, Horus or Osiris. Remember the former Eagle Scout turned gunman with the tattoo over his left eye in the recent satanic human sacrifice event.
This murder suspect found sleeping on Daytona Beach didn't hold back when he faced a judge today.
Ben Affleck was shown as a reference to Batman because he will play that role in the upcoming film Batman vs. Superman, which depicts Superman as a false savior.
We, as a population on this planet, have been looking for a savior.
We're talking about a being whose very existence.
They are not telling us.
Right, we know better now, don't we? Devils don't come from hell beneath us.
They brought their war here.
They come from the sky.
The world has been so caught up with what he can do that no one has asked what he should do.
Michael Keaton was also shown as a reference to Batman and or Birdman, the phoenix rising from its ashes. Interestingly enough, an eagle can be seen on the padding in each corner of the ring. May 2nd, 2015, a New York City plainclothes police officer is shot in the head in Queens.
Torres, we are following breaking news and a disturbing story tonight. A New York City police officer shot tonight in Queens. This is what we know right now. The officer's in critical but stable condition at Jamaica Hospital. He was in plain clothes and in an unmarked police cruiser when he and his partner approached a man. That man then opened fire. We are told police have a suspect in custody.
Remember, to Catholics, the Virgin Mary is known as the Queen of Heaven, which is actually a reference to the pagan goddess Isis and not the Messiah's mother, as so many mistakenly assume. It should be noted that occult pagan May Day rituals included human sacrifice. This event was meant to be part of that ritual. May 3rd, 2015, 2 gunmen opened fire at a free speech event in Garland, Texas.
And 2 people have been shot dead in Garland, Texas, at a controversial event showing pictures of the Prophet Muhammad. Police say 2 gunmen opened fire at a security guard at the exhibition. Security officers responded, killing the gunman. A report suggests there were explosives in their car.
The name Garland means a wreath of flowers used as a crown. It should be noted that the month of May is dedicated to the Queen of Heaven, or Isis, and a garland or wreath of flowers is placed on the head of the statue of the Queen of Heaven during the May crowning. When we put the police shooting in Queens, New York, together with the shooting of the police officer in Garland, Texas, the result is the Queen's Garland, a reference to the wreath of flowers placed on the head of the Queen of Heaven during the May crowning. Supposedly, the gunmen were ISIS sympathizers, connecting them with the Queen of Heaven. As it turns out, this event was organized by the Ashkenazi Jew, Pamela Geller, the same woman who is responsible for the Killing Jews is Worship ads.
Looking at a venue in Garland, Texas, which is a large city just northeast of Dallas, the Dallas Metro, that was hosting an event tonight with a group that was holding a contest, $10,000 for the winner of a cartoon depicting the Prophet Muhammad.
This was actually just another Illuminati stage event, a human sacrifice for the Queen of Heaven, or ISIS, meant to cause chaos here in America, the new Egypt, so that martial law can be ushered in. This brings us back to the reporter in Baltimore who asked, "Are we under martial law?"
Are we under martial law?
Are we under martial law? Are we under martial law?
Jade Helm 15, a large-scale military operation, is slated to begin July 15th and is scheduled to last until September 15th. Many speculate that this could be the beginning of martial law. Jade is a pale, metamorphic rock, or one which changes form. It is also called nephrite, a reference to the Nephilim. Remember, the angel of death rides the pale green horse in Revelation 6:8. Helm is the instrument which guides. 15 in Freemasonry is a reference to 357, a representation of the steps of the spiral staircase, or the ascent to godhood, man becoming God. Master means to rule over with great skill and proficiency. The human domain is the earth, or the world. Therefore, the meaning of Jade Helm 15, master the human domain, is as follows. The Nephilim, the angel of death who rides the pale green horse, is the instrument which guides man in his ascent to godhood, so that man can become God, and thus master and rule over the earth with great skill and proficiency. Remember the MTV martial law commercials? Interestingly enough, at the White House press dinner during Obama's speech, there was the mention of Obama having a third term.
The nonstop focus on billionaire donors creates real problems for our democracy.
And that's why we're running for a third term.
No, we're not.
We're not? Who the hell said that?
If martial law was put into effect, this would effectively suspend the Constitution and thus cancel the upcoming presidential elections, with the result being Obama succeeding in getting his third term.
Nonstop focus on billionaire donors creates real problems for our democracy.
And that's why we're running for a third term.
No, we're not.
We're not?
No.
Who the hell said that?
With the recent clashes between police, protesters, and rioters in several major metropolitan cities across the country, it seems as if the New World Order conspirators will have their revolution, and America will see the institution of martial law very soon.
The revolution will be televised. The revolution will be televised.
The time has come for one man to suffer in order to save hundreds of lives. One man. What about two? What about six? How about public executions, huh?
How about public executions, huh?
What if what they really want is for us to herd children in the stadiums like we're doing? And put soldiers on the street and have Americans looking over their shoulders, bend the law, shred the Constitution just a little bit. And they've won. They've already won.
Even still, no matter what Satan, his demonic forces, and those in flesh and blood who work under the influence of these demonic forces do to bring about anarchy, chaos, and revolution in America, the new Egypt, with aspirations of creating the New World Order, we must not be intimidated. We must speak out against these atrocities. Those with eyes to see must open the eyes of the blind. It is our responsibility. The time for our exodus from Egypt is drawing ever closer. And I say again to Pharaoh, the Lord declares, let my people go. Shalom.